Chapter 12, Essence of Direct Experience. To uncover a buried treasure requires one to follow correct directions from those who know how. By digging and removing the stones and earth, then one can finally grasp it, not just by saying come out. In the same way, the pure truth of the Atman, which is buried under the effects of the mind's illusory judgments, can only be attained by listening intently with apt attention to the teachings of the knowers of the truth, deep reflection, meditation, and so on, never just by subtle intellectual arguments. Therefore, the wise should personally exert all their efforts to attain liberation from the bondage of ignorance. In the same way, one would personally take all possible remedies against a disease. Babaji's comment: just like a fool trying to cook without any flame or heat, simply by talking, nothing can be achieved. Least of all, liberation sadhana is important. The importance of self-effort and sadhana through the guidance of a realized teacher is necessary. Everybody knows that the physical body needs food to sustain it. Everybody goes out of the way and put in all efforts that are in their power to earn that food. Even in the midst of business, any job, play, and so on. When it is food time, we stop all activities and go for food. If you need fast food, you need money to pay for it. Nobody gives it to you free of charge. Question 1, Babaji. Everyone talks of peace, but nobody wants to work for peace or practice peace. Why is this so, Babaji?
For working peace means accepting the truth. Say if there is a conflict, we need peace. So we talk of peace. But to achieve that peace, we may have to sacrifice, compromise, accept our own mistakes, both parties. If two people are into conflict, both parties need to understand their mistakes and come closer and forget the past and talking. So when this comes, people back out. Generally, human beings, they are always into double standards. They don't want that conflict to come to an end because there can be other interests. Somebody might have some business interests. If two people are into conflict, so one might be able to sell the weapon systems. So then they wouldn't like that conflict to come to an end. So very often in this world, such a thing happens, an ego happens. Otherwise, to find a solution is simple. If there is some conflict is there, two people don't want to talk to each other. So you forget about the past and now talk. But it doesn't happen. People want to maintain their ego. For many people, their own ego is so important even than the guru himself. So that is how they don't want to give up ego. So then there is no peace and no solution. The whole world talks like that. We give examples of United Nations always. I have given hundreds of times, I have given this example. So after the Second World War, the United Nations were formed. So everybody heaved a sigh of relief. Now there will not be any more wars and conflict because United Nations will not allow it to happen, they thought. But Cold War continued and other wars continued, conflicts continued. And now in these 1 or 2 decades, we are seeing terrorism, everything. Otherwise, if nothing is there, trade war happens, some war keep happening, some excuse for human beings. I used to say because the very people who run the United Nations, they don't want the conflict to come to an end. Otherwise, how will they sell the weapons? It is the example is just like there is one mongoose and a snake, and the snake charmer is playing. Okay, now I am going to make both of them fight with each other. One of them will kill the other. Don't know which one will survive. Like that, he keeps shouting, shouting, whole day he keeps shouting. Crowds come, they all wait and listen. Then when they're tired, they give some money and then go away. So one person was standing, let me see whether he will really make them fight or not. So in the evening, he approached that snake charmer. Hey, the whole day you have been telling that you will make both the mongoose and snake to fight, that one will kill the other, which one will survive, we don't know, but you haven't done it. So that the snake charmer tells, hey, sir, I have only one snake and one mongoose. If I make them fight really, and if one gets killed, then tomorrow how will I earn for my livelihood? So I just have to do this. I cannot afford to make them fight. So that is how people make fool of each other. So these are the reasons that there is no peace. That's why we tell people talk of peace, big lectures are given, but nobody works for peace. And that is why we don't have peace.
Thank you, Babaji. Question 2, Babaji. Babaji, you mentioned that one must understand the illness of the mind and rush to the knowers of the truth for the medicine of spiritual sadhana. Babaji, what is it that is holding back those who aspire to walk on the spiritual path from reaching the lotus feet of a realized master?
One is to find a self-realized master is a very rarest of rare thing in this world today. Not everybody will be a tapaswin. Not everybody would have achieved a self-realization. There can be gurus. Our own guru Swamiji Shivabala Yogi used to tell the Veera Brahmaya had predicted in the end of Kali Yuga it will happen that for every 5 onions a guru will crop up. Means that is an example telling for every 5 onions one guru means everybody would like to declare themselves as gurus, but everybody cannot become guru. That's why Swamiji always told, try to become a worthy disciple first. Becoming a guru comes afterwards, becoming a god or angel all afterwards. First try to become a good human being. Sincere disciple is very important. That is what is important. But people are in a rush. Don't know what self-realization means. One declares, for 3 days I was sitting on a stone boulder on the mountain top and I became enlightened. They don't know what enlightenment means. They simply declare and people accept because they talk colorfully. They talk about everything of this world except self-realized things, except the ultimate truth. So that is how it's a very rare thing to find a real self-realized master. Apart from that, a student also must be very sincere. If he is sincere, he will not compromise for any other magical work or siddhis or any such things or any colorful talks of any other masters. He would like to listen to only about the self, about the Atman and how to achieve that one. One would like to sit for sadhana, would like a guidance from the master to do such a sadhana. Then only he will be able to find only such a self-realized guru. Because anywhere else he goes, he will come back, oh, this is not the right guru for me. He talks something else. He doesn't talks about self. He doesn't talks about the mind. He doesn't talk about the Atman. He keeps talking something else, this and dancing, this, that, so many things and joking, time pass. So sincerity in the student is also very important. So if these two are there, then it is not very difficult. God will bless. Pray to the divine. The divine will bless you to find a self-realized master. A self-realized master will come into your life. You will be able to reach the lotus feet of a master. That is very important. If your intention is self-realization, you need the right guidance. That's what Swamiji said. If you are walking on the road, you may not need any guidance. You can tell, I am walking, I will reach my destination. But suddenly, if a circle comes, and from the circle, one road goes to west, another goes to east, another to north and south, then you are confused. You don't know which way to go. Then the knower of the truth will guide you. You have to take this path, east path, then you will reach your destination. That is what the self-realized guru is important. The guru can guide you. Many people who come to us, also students, they get attracted to see this and this thing, myths and so many things. I have heard that this thing happens, that thing happens. That is all not at all important. Important is that your mind becomes quiet and peaceful and remains concentrated and single pointed. And peace descends. You will have more peace. You will be more quiet internally. So these are the symptoms. Not that you can produce some chain or gold or any such thing. These are not the requirement. The requirement is self-realization. A peace within is what is required. So then you will be able to find such a guru and you will get the right guidance and you will be able to follow the path, tread the path, and then you should be ready to do the sadhana. That's what in the beginning, last way, that questions we answered and we thought. Hard work is necessary. People want it easily. If there is anybody who can touch my head and give me self-realization, mind will not stop like that. It is the mind which is consistently into like a chatterbox, like a monkey roaming aimlessly in the world. It has to become quiet. Then such a mind merges with the self. Then the awareness of the self comes. That has to happen within, not otherwise. So for that, hard work will have to do. You have to, because since time immemorial, mind has gone out of control, has picked up the habit to be a chatterbox. If you close the eyes, millions of thoughts keep coming, and always you keep thinking, and you feel tired and stressed out and start thinking meditation is not for me. But you should be able to keep the mind quiet. Like our guru said, if you can keep the mind quiet in between eyebrows, quiet and controlled for 1 hour, that is the real meditation. Till then, you are trying to meditate, he used to say. Like that, if you can do it for 8 to 10 hours in a stretch, at least minimum, then you can do tapas. So tapas is not an easy thing, not everybody cannot do. So you have to do tapas to become self-realized. Then the mind becomes quiet. That is why the word tapa is used. Means you have to cook it properly to make it ripe, cleanse it properly. It has to give up all its imaginations and become quiet. So that is how things can happen, not otherwise.
Thank you, Babaji. Question 3, Babaji. Babaji, why are some seekers attracted to fake masters who won't be able to help them to eliminate the illness of their mind? Is it their ignorance or ego?
More than ignorance and ego, insincerity. They are not sincere students. As I explained earlier, one student needs to be sincere. He must not compromise. You want self-realization and you must not compromise on that one. Must not get attracted to magics or siddhis or any such things. Nothing. Always you want only self-realization. That is why Swamiji sometimes jokingly used to tell, even if God comes in front of you and offers the entire creation for you, say no. Tell that you want God only, because everything is in God. Why do you need whatever God can produce? You should not get attracted. You want God. Then only you can have supreme peace. Insist that you want only God and nothing else. You don't need the siddhis that God can give. You don't need the properties and the world and the emperorship that God can give. Remember Nachiketa in Kathopanishad. That's what Swamiji very often used to tell. See, such an young boy had such a determination. Yamadharmaraja offers him, you go to the world and live for 5,000 years as an emperor. You will have all powers and all wealth and every happiness. But Nachiketa refuses. Okay, after 5,000 years, that time will pass by sooner. Then is there anything for me not to come back to you? Yama says, no, after that you will have to die and come here. Then what is the use of that 5,000 years emperorship? Nachiketa says, give the knowledge here and now itself. He goes on increasing 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, like that. 50,000 years you go. But Nachiketa is totally determined, doesn't want to compromise. I don't want anything else but the self-realization. Atman, about Atman, you tell what it is, what is the truth. Nobody has come back after dying to tell what happened to them. What is the truth actually? Are we going to live forever, exist forever? Are we going to become extinct when the body dies? Tell the truth. So like that, one needs to remain determined. Swamiji used to say, even if God comes, do not compromise. Stick to that thing. So ignorance and ego happens when you are not sincere. Insincerity gives birth to ignorance and ego. Ego, I know everything. I don't have to know anything else. You just want the guru to endorse that you are already realized. You don't know what the realization is. The guru doesn't know what the realization means. In front of 50 people, 100 people, he will praise you. Oh, he is already realized. He is a very highly evolved soul. If that boy is a rich person, the guru would like to rob him money. That's why he will praise him. You don't have to do, many gurus indulge like that. You don't have to do any sadhana at all. You are already realized. Then why is the guru there? The guru is not necessary. God is not necessary. Nobody is needed. If everybody is already realized, so your existence, God also is not needed. Like that, then many gurus try to cheat them people. That's why Swamiji insisted, sadhana is very important. Talk less and do more sadhana to silence your mind. Then the mind will turn introvert. When it becomes purified and becomes a pure consciousness, then it will turn introvert. So this is what is important. Sincerity is the first thing that is important.
Thank you, Babaji. Returning to the question asked earlier by the student, the Guru speaks further. The question you have asked is of the highest order. It is relevant to the teachings of scriptures of spiritual truths. Its meaning is hidden deep, like in an aphorism. It should be asked by all those seeking liberation. Listen with full attention, O prudent one, to what I am about to say. By truly listening attentively, you will certainly be liberated from the bondage of this world. Babaji's comment, in the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, Arjuna, before death shall claim thee, go to the knowers of truth, and by sitting at their lotus feet, with all humility and reverence, seeking their permission, ask such intelligent questions to bring out the best teachings from a realized soul, and adopting such method, you can achieve yoga liberation. When such a question is asked, it should be asked with sincerity, longing for liberation, not simply as a show of intelligence. It should not be asked out of arrogance to test the guru or for some amusement purposes. Focus is so important. Otherwise, many become excited, not paying attention to the answer, and they never learn anything. Babaji, question 1. You mentioned that the ultimate truth is invisible and hidden, but available for the one who does sadhana and gains knowledge through experiences. Babaji, can you please explain the importance of experience in our sadhana?
Here, many people misunderstand experience means it has to be a vision or some type of such experience. It is not more than that. Concentration of the mind is important experience. That means through sadhana, when you are able to clear all thoughts and visions, that's what the meaning of watching in between eyebrows. Just watching, you stop thinking. When you do not think, all thoughts and visions disappear. Then the mind becomes concentrated, quiet, and totally silent. Then its attention turning to introvert goes into the attention of itself. So this is what is needed in sadhana intensely. If this doesn't happen, then it won't come. So that is why sadhana is so important, and always to remember this is very important.
Thank you, Babaji. Question 2, Babaji. Babaji, ancient teachers have spoken of this world as bondage. Babaji, could you please explain further on this? What are the bondages that hinder our peace?
See, whatever first thing, when the mind has adopted this world as a real, that is the first bondage. Because when you adopt a certain thing as a real existence, you get attracted, you get attached to that one. You want to have it. You start thinking it as your own. That is how the bondage starts. And whereas the entire world, universe is impermanent, when you forget this point and always keep considering as if everything is permanent, like Yudhishthira said, everybody know they have to die, but they think that they are going to live here forever, and they behave like that only. So that is how the bondage comes. Then you want to own it. You want it for yourself. So then the bondage goes. Then you adopt like that relationships, friendships, and all the ownership of the worldly things, everything, you get attached to them. Like friendship and the blood relationship, ownership of the properties and the things of the world that you want to own it. Oh, this is my home, this is my car, this is my kith and kin, these are my friends. Like that, the bondage in the mind happens. And then you go on thinking, I am doing this. That ego also sits. That is also a bondage. That is how the imprints are absorbed by the mind, by the doership, kartrutva bhava, by the doership of the things. I am doing. I am the one more intelligent. I am the one who is enlightened. A real self-realized master never thinks that he is self-realized at all. So like this, you bind yourself to this world, which does not exist at all, which is totally impermanent. It will lose its shape. It will disappear. Just like the dream disappears after you get out of the dream. So getting attached to the dream has no meaning. Unnecessarily, you might lose your peace, your happiness, and bind yourself to the dreaming. After all, it was a dream. Dream means an illusion that happened which never existed, just by the imagination of the mind in collision with the brain. In collusion with the brain, a dream happened. So it was not real at all. Forget about it. That is it. Otherwise, many people are unable to forget the dream. They get so much affected when they get up in the morning also. Some unhappiness would have happened in the dream, and that is still going on. Dizziness is going on. Some unhappiness, some depression comes. All this happens when you become attached. That is how you will be binding yourself. So to remove this binding, you have to meditate. When you meditate, the mind releases itself from the brain's clutches. Then it releases itself from the world. It realizes that everything is impermanent, including our own physical body. That is how spirituality alerts us that the whole world, including our own physical body, is impermanent. A certain thing which is impermanent, how can it give a permanent happiness? So that's what the truth is. To get the permanent happiness, you must go to that existence, to become aware of that existence of yours, which is permanent. If I am permanent all the time, then if I have the happiness, that happiness also can be there permanently. Today, I might own a house, and I might be happy. But if the body dies, that happiness is gone. Ownership of the house is also gone. So that is how things happen. That's how we bind ourselves. This is what we need to overcome mentally. Here, the Guru does not advise that you don't have to run to forests and caves. You don't have to give up your home or business or work or anything, your livelihood, your family, everything that you have adopted, you can remain in that one. Simply mentally needs to be alert. That is so that you can always be in happiness, at peace. This is what you can achieve through the practice of meditation.
Thank you, Babaji. Verse 69 and 70, meaning the first step towards liberation is detachment from all impermanent things. Then the practice of tranquility, self-control, and forbearance. Then giving up of all selfish actions for the fulfillment of desires for worldly pleasures. The disciple then must hear the truth of the Atman through the Guru's teaching of spiritual truths and reflect deeply upon it. They should meditate upon it for long periods without pause. Thus, the wise reach the highest state in which consciousness of subject and object is dissolved away and infinite single consciousness alone remains. Only such one now, only such a one knows the bliss of nirvana while still living on earth. Babaji's comment: detachment must be maintained towards the universe, including one's own physical body, with a firm conviction and understanding that all these are impermanent and are going to disappear. So how can they give us permanent peace? Detachment is an alertness that all is impermanent. Only external existence can give eternal peace. Tranquility and self-control are possible when you have a longing for liberation and have controlled the emotions of greed, anger, and hatred. Then you can dedicate yourself and remain disciplined, ready for sadhana. Even while alive bodily in this world, you can enjoy supreme peace. That is moksha, that is nirvana, that is realization, that is liberation, that is awareness of the truth, which has to be natural and effortless. That is the recommended goal. Babaji, first question: can you please explain what detachment is in our spiritual sadhana?
Here, detachment does not mean that you have to give up your home and run away. You can, Swamiji always told, you can remain in any way of life that you would have adopted. If you are a householder, you can remain as a householder. And if you are doing business, if you are for your livelihood, you can continue all those things. Simply mentally you have to alert that everything is impermanent. One day this will go. Be ready for that. Be alert mentally so that when such a day comes, it should not be shocking or it should not be upsetting for you. That is what is detachment means. Also, you have desires, you put in efforts. Results may not be always according to your expectations. There is no universal guarantee. Sometimes things may happen according to what you wish. Sometimes it may not happen. But mentally, you be ready to accept. Acceptance is very important. Let it be, it's okay. That is how we were taught. As children also, we used to pray. If such a prayer, sometimes it used to happen, sometimes it wouldn't happen. But I always used to pray to God. Though we wanted this to happen this much, yet if it has not happened means maybe it is for our own benefit, for our own good only. The divine has played this Leela, this divine play has happened. He must be having better things for me in his store. I may get a better thing. That's how ultimately when we achieved the self-realization, everything that things did not happen, we are so grateful to the divine which led us towards total liberation and self-realization. So that is what is detachment has to happen mentally, not physically simply.
Thank you, Babaji. Question 2, Babaji. What really happens to a disciple who enjoys the serenity and the true message of a yogi in silence in their presence?
If a self-realized master, his vibrations will be flowing in all directions. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, you have to raise the sail of faith and devotion. Swamiji, our guru used to tell you, it is like Ganga flowing, the water is flowing. That is the guru's grace and vibrations are flowing. If you have faith called dam, the dam that you build is the faith and the devotion, then you are able to feel that serenity, quietness and peace in the presence of a master. When you sit down, you enjoy that one will be possible, provided you have the devotion and faith. That is very important. That is how the presence of a self-realized master is very, very important. We have always told in these days of the social media and online thing, see everything is available online. How to meditate also, so many gurus would have written online, it is all available. But sitting with a master, getting initiated and learning from the master by questioning and listening to the answer that the master gives with apt attention is like a bonus always. That is the rarest of rare thing. That's how we were so fortunate when we were with our Guru. Shiva Bala Yogi was physically with us. For us, it was like God lived with us. All the time he was correcting us, he was teaching us, he was guiding how to meditate, what has to happen in meditation, what is tapas means. Like this, he always answered and guided us and helped us and looked after us, removed our ego, removed our attachments and desires. Everything he took care. So we were serving at the lotus feet of the master. He made us to serve, seva, work, everywhere work. Like that, he removed the ego also. So like that, presence of a yogi, physical presence is the rarest of rare gift in the creation, I can say. It is not easily obtainable. Very rarely you get a chance to go to a real master and sit with the master and listen to the master to guide you.
Thank you, Babaji. Question 3. Babaji, from your experience, could you advise us how we can achieve tranquility and self-control? It seems a little difficult. Meditation can increase your level of tranquility and self-control, but to start meditating consistently, we also need to have a certain level of tranquility and self-control.
First thing, earning to understand the need is important. When you know that you need that, without that you cannot survive, then you go for that, go out of way to do and achieve that thing. Like I have always told, even in these teachings also, in my comments also, you all know that you need food to sustain your physical body and you need to earn a livelihood for yourself. You know that one. You will not wait for a guru like me to come and give you a lecture on this point. You'll get up in the morning, you'll try to find a job, you will work, go, and you cannot say, no, I don't feel like working, I cannot work. Then they won't give the salary to you. You will have to work. So when you understand the need and earning is there, you will go for that. That is the first important thing. Earning should be there. You must understand, and you must have the earning that first I must achieve supreme peace, which will remain at all time. Like as a child, I used to think if the happiness is there, it should be all the time, 12 hours, 24 hours, and 12 months together. Not that sometimes there is excitement, there is ananda, and sometimes there is an unknown fear, some pain. That should not happen. Why is that? Is there something wrong in me, something wrong in the world? Like that, I used to think. For this type of vichara, thinking, inquiry is necessary. If you understand this, then you will approach the master. You are ready to give up all other and set a priority is important. Like all those who are participating in this meditation today, you all set a priority and made yourself to be present here. Otherwise, you could have given 100 excuses. I need to attend a family wedding. I need to meet a friend. I need to go there work. I won't be able to come for meditation, Babaji. I'm sorry today. You are sorry for yourself. There is no need to feel sorry for myself. I have done my job. I meditated. I have achieved that supreme peace all the time. As taught my guru. My guru taught me. So I left home and stayed with him all the time and got trained by him. And I listened to him. So I set a priority. So setting a priority is also very important. Then only you can achieve. If you don't set a priority, there is no time available. It is not available in any shopping complex. Go to shop, you give 5,000 rupees. Ki bhai, I am giving 5,000 rupees. Can you give me some time? No time. I can give you a clock, but time I cannot give you. You have to take out the time and then come and sit into meditation. Otherwise, you can tell I don't have time means the whole life passes by. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, 60, 70, 80 years, and you are dying. You die. Time is over. You did not meditate. One more life again, and you are born. That's what Adi Shankara tells. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam. Iha samsare bahudustare, kripaya paye pahi murare. Again and again, we have to be reborn and we have to die. Again and again, we have to live in the womb of a mother. They were so blunt in those days, teachers. We try to be lenient. We don't try to be harsh or blunt in teaching. Otherwise, so that people should not misunderstand us. But Adi Shankara was very blunt. Whether you like or not, you are thrown to this world. So this world is like a crocodile, he says. So, O Lord, my divine, please bless me to get liberated, to have that self-realization. So that is so important. Time goes by. Time is so important that you have to set a priority. So this type of earning, understanding that you need that peace and ready to prioritize, ready to give time, take out time for that one. This is first important. If I am peaceful, then I can work well in my office also. If I don't have peace, what will I work in the office? Like that, prioritize everywhere. Then you will do that one. Then doing becomes so easy. It's not difficult. But you need to remain determined. If you are not determined, it will be very difficult always. First day, when you want to learn to bake a bread, it will be so difficult to mix the flour and make it ready to bake the bread and keep it ready. All these things appears. Oh God, who will do all these things? If only somebody can give me a baked bread, I will eat and want to sleep. Nobody would like to do that one, making rotis. But if you do that rotis, you can cook it for yourself the way you want. It will be yours. You will feel so happy after cooking a roti that you will feel so happy. Today, I myself have done this. It is so wonderful. Like that, you have to prioritize. Sit for meditation for 1 hour. When you sit for 1 hour, then when lot of peace is there, when you come out, you will enjoy. How sweet this is. I must increase. I must sit for more time, like that. So we used to make chapatis, go behind the bushes, sit for 6 to 7 hours when Swamiji was not here. That's how finally he blessed me to do a 5-year tapas that I could do for 22 hours, quietly sit, practice. Because we practiced this for long time. It is a process that must happen long time process, continuously every day. It won't happen in one moment like that. One should not expect. But while putting in effort, do not look back. Remain determined. Be enthusiastic. Be happy. It should be like playing a tennis game like that one. It was a nice session to be with you all. We will come back again after 15 days. In the next session, we'll give you all our more answers and more of this topic we'll be discussing. May you all be blessed by Swamiji Shiva Bal Yogi Maharaj. Our love and blessings also are with you all always.